For years, they were the shoes everyone loved to hate. Fashion critics called them horrifically ugly, late-night comedians made them the punchline of jokes, and Time magazine even named them one of the world's worst inventions. And by 2008, the company was on the brink of collapse, with $200 million in debt and facing potential bankruptcy. Fast forward to today, and Crocs is a $10 billion fashion powerhouse. Their iconic foam clogs are worn by everyone from toddlers to grandparents, from Justin Bieber to Post Malone, from hospital workers to high fashion runway models. How did a company selling what many called the ugliest shoe ever made engineer one of the most spectacular comebacks in retail history, and what can every brand learn from this remarkable transformation? But to understand Crocs' incredible journey from ridicule to reverence, we need to go back to where it all began. The year is 2002, the original iPod is just hitting stores, Spider-Man breaks box office records, and three friends from Boulder, Colorado are sailing in the Caribbean when they discover an unusual foam material. Lyndon Duke Hansen, Scott Siemens, and George Bodecker Jr. were initially drawn to this material called Crosslite because it was perfect for boating shoes. Non-slip, waterproof, and virtually indestructible. These shoes were originally named Beach and debuted at a small boat show in Fort Lauderdale. The founders bought 200 pairs and sold all of them. Little did they know, they had just launched what would become one of the most polarizing products in fashion history. What happened next defied all conventional wisdom about fashion and retail. The quirky foam clogs spread like wildfire, becoming a full-blown cultural phenomenon. By 2006, just 4 years after their creation, Crocs had sold 6 million pairs. The company went public with an IPO that raised $208 million, valuing the young company at over $1 billion. The reasons behind the explosive growth were as unexpected as the shoes themselves. Number 1, extreme comfort that created evangelical customers. Number 2, durability that made them economical despite a $30 price point. Number 3, adoption by professionals who stood all day. Think about nurses, chefs, and teachers. And finally, number 4, kid-friendly designs and bright colors that parents really appreciated. And here comes marketing lesson number 1. Prioritize function over fashion. True innovation creates its own demand. Fashion historian Elizabeth Semmelhack explains why Crocs broke all the rules. Crocs represented a rebellion against conventional fashion wisdom. They addressed genuine consumer needs, comfort, practicality, durability, in a way that prioritized function over appearance. The company expanded rapidly, opening hundreds of retail stores and acquiring complementary brands. By 2007, Crocs were being sold in 40 countries with revenue exceeding $847 million. But this explosive success contained the seeds of a potential disaster. As with many overnight sensations, Crocs' initial success proved unsustainable. The company had overexpanded, overproduced, and oversaturated the market. The 2008 crisis hit Crocs particularly hard. Consumers cut back on non-essential purchases, and the novelty of foam clogs had worn off. The company's stock crashed from $75 to just $1 per share. And the problems, they went beyond just bad timing. Crocs had become the victim of their own ubiquity. Fashion critics labeled them fundamentally uncool, the brand became associated with function, not style, and they had limited product innovation beyond the core clog design. By 2009, Crocs was on the verge of bankruptcy with $200 million in debt and rapidly declining sales. The Washington Post openly wondered, are Crocs heading for extinction? And here comes marketing lesson number 2, ubiquity is the enemy of desirability. Retail analyst Simon Siegel explains the paradox. Crocs face the classic fashion dilemma. When everyone has your product, it loses its appeal. The very success that made them a household name threatened to make them irrelevant. What followed was one of the most carefully orchestrated brand turnarounds in retail history. In 2014, with the company still struggling, Crocs brought in retail veteran Greg Rebat as CEO, followed by Andrew Rees as president. Their mission to completely reimagine the Crocs brand without abandoning its core identity. And here comes marketing lesson number 3, know what to keep and what to change. The new leadership team made several critical strategic decisions. First, they closed 160 retail locations, nearly half of the Crocs stores, to focus on digital sales and wholesale partnerships. Secondly, they reduced the product line by 40%, eliminating styles that diluted the brand identity. And thirdly, they refocused marketing on the core clog design, leaning into its polarizing nature rather than trying to make it conventional. In 2016, Crocs launched a new marketing campaign called Come As You Are, featuring celebrities like Drew Barrymore and Post Malone, celebrating individuality and self-expression. The campaign marked a profound shift in Crocs' positioning. Instead of apologizing for being different, they celebrated it. Instead of chasing fashion trends, they embraced their uniqueness. We stopped trying to convince people who hated Crocs to like us, and instead focused on people who already loved us. Terrence Riley, former CMO of Crocs. This authentic approach to branding set the stage for a remarkable comeback. In 2017, something extraordinary happened at Paris Fashion Week. Luxury fashion house Balenciaga sent models down the runway wearing platform Crocs priced at $850. They sold out in pre-orders before they were even released. This marked the beginning of Crocs' collaboration strategy that would transform the brand's image. And here are just a few of Crocs' collaborations: Post Malone, Justin Bieber and Drew House, Bad Bunny, KFC, Liberty London, Balenciaga, Christopher Kane, and Pleasures. These limited edition releases created something Crocs had never had before: scarcity and exclusivity. Think about this transformation for a moment. These shoes were once mocked as the epitome of bad taste and were now being worn by A-list celebrities, featured in high fashion magazines, and selling out within minutes of release. Marketing lesson number 4. Turn your biggest weakness into your greatest strength. Fashion marketing professor Amanda Hawley explains the genius of this approach. Crocs didn't try to become conventionally beautiful. They leaned into their ugly aesthetic and reframed it as bold, confident, and unapologetic. In doing so, they transformed their biggest liability into their greatest asset. Just as Crocs was regaining momentum, the COVID-19 pandemic hit, and surprisingly, it supercharged their comeback. As millions of people started working from home, comfort became the priority in footwear. Healthcare workers, long loyal to Crocs, were suddenly celebrated as heroes, bringing new attention to their footwear choices. In response, Crocs launched their Free Pair for Healthcare program, donating over 860,000 pairs of shoes to frontline workers, a genuine act of corporate citizenship that also put their product on the feet of essential workers. The results were nothing short of spectacular. In 2020, the revenue of Crocs was $1.4 billion, and by 2021, it was $2.3 billion. The stock price went from $12 pre-pandemic to over $180 at its peak. Market cap surpassed $10 billion in 2021, and digital sales grew 100% year over year. For context, most footwear brands saw double-digit declines during this period, making Crocs' growth even more remarkable. But Crocs' pandemic success wasn't just luck. It was the culmination of years of strategic repositioning that perfectly prepared them for this unexpected moment. Marketing lesson number 5. Authentic purpose beats performative marketing. While many brands rushed to create pandemic-themed marketing, Crocs' genuine support of healthcare workers reflected values they had championed for years. So what can we learn from Crocs' extraordinary journey from mockery to $10 billion fashion phenomenon? Let me break it down into 5 actionable lessons you can apply to your own brand. First off, embrace your polarizing nature. Crocs never tried to please everyone. They focused on delighting their core fans rather than converting critics. What unique aspects of your brand might alienate some but deeply resonate with others? Number 2, turn weakness into strength. Crocs transformed their ugly aesthetic into a statement of confidence and individuality. What perceived weakness in your product or brand could be reframed as a distinctive asset? Number 3, create scarcity amid abundance. While maintaining their accessible core products, Crocs created exclusivity through limited collaborations. How could your brand balance mass appeal with moments of exclusivity? Number 4, stay true to your functional roots. Even as they became fashion icons, Crocs never sacrificed the comfort and functionality that built their initial following. What core benefits should your brand never compromise? And finally, number 5, authenticity isn't just a buzzword. It's a business strategy. Crocs' support of healthcare workers reflected long-standing brand values. How can your brand's actions authentically reflect its purpose? The lesson from Crocs isn't just about making a comeback from near bankruptcy. It's about having the courage to be polarizing, the wisdom to embrace your true identity, and the patience to wait for the cultural moment to catch up with your vision. We didn't change to fit the fashion world's standards. We stayed true to ourselves until the fashion world changed to embrace us. Andrew Rees, CEO of Crocs. So the next time you see those distinctive foam clogs, whether on a nurse in a hospital, a chef in a kitchen, or a supermodel on a runway, remember, you're not just looking at footwear, you're looking at one of the most remarkable brand turnarounds in business history. Now, if you found value in this breakdown of Crocs' marketing transformation, hit that like button and subscribe to the Philosophy of Marketing. In the comments, let me know what brand would you like me to analyze next, and until then, remember, great marketing doesn't just follow culture, sometimes it has the courage to stand against it.